Today's video is part of a series on how to improve at Warzone, and we specifically focus on Rebirth because there's a lot of elements that you can use to improve your gameplay rather quickly. Obviously right here I'm grabbing the loadout. One of the things I did want to point out with these gameplays is they were specifically where I was focusing on trying to play a certain way so that they could be broken down. You can see the stats on the screen from this gameplay session where I'm mostly trying to limit deaths and maintain a decent amount of kills, which leads to a high KD. And the reason for that is so I can have more examples to talk about of what you need to do in certain situations. And what we're going to see here is a specific thing that comes up pretty often. People are reacting to gameplay, but they're a little bit more of a novice, I would say, at the game. They don't realize how much intel there is. So if we look at the minimap here, we can see that this guy is below me because you can see the little arrow right here. So they're either on this level, which as soon as I jump out this window, or they are underground in the basement. It's kind of hard to tell, but we'll get a good indication as soon as I go ahead and jump out. You'll be able to go ahead and see exactly what's happening. So I jump through, come through, and then now see that both of those dots are visible on this level, and then there's someone over here in the gondola potentially coming up, or maybe they're below the gondola. But overall, we know that those two guys are there, and this is pretty important when you're trying to push something because you can see how I do this. So I center up on this area. There should be nobody here, and then you're going to see how I take this fight when I come through. I'm assuming my aim is going to be like aiming at this doorway because normally people kind of go into this jail cell that's right here, or they come out of the stairway, or they're on this walkway. There's a lot of different areas there that somebody could be. So I just do that. This guy is still on this, and this guy's coming out of the sky, and this guy's further on. So it's likely that the guy that was here, he went like this and went over to cafeteria. So I didn't know that until I got this pulse, but that's kind of where we're at. So I check it, come through, pre-aim it, nothing there, and then I pre-aim here. I didn't know this guy was here 100%. I didn't know exactly where he was, but I ended up taking him out. I don't even take any damage because they were in a full-on sprint. And if we go ahead and watch that again, you can kind of see how it all unfolds. So I don't know if somebody's there. I'm just pre-aiming it because that's what I did for these other parts. And a lot of times, if you're just doing that stuff consistently, this guy was sliding. I catch him. I already broke his armor by the time he realizes it. By the time he comes out of the attack sprint, he's basically dead. So now we know that their teammates are also split. We got a pulse here and we got a pulse here. So that, since this is trios, those are the two remaining people. So if somebody did push me aggressively, I could kill them and the lobby would not die out. But again, I'm trying to play as quote unquote smart as possible. So there are plays that people get when they go for risky, high kill games that they're constantly making bad pushes, but because they can be extremely talented in terms of reaction time, or just maybe their movement, you get another easy kill there. This guy, he screwed over his teammate. I don't know if he died from bleeding out. I don't think that's enough of a fall damage to kill you from right there. I don't think it is. But you can see that immediately what happens is as soon as this guy that I just killed here dies, this guy gets the pulse. So he's jumping down on me, and that causes me, as soon as I had that guy bleed out, I immediately look at the mini map. I focus on this area here, and then that allows me to tell me, hey, there's a guy right behind you. Turn around, shoot him. And I'm able to just line up the shot. Easy kill. And that guy was a little mad. They got team wipe. Wasn't necessarily my goal, but that guy shouldn't have jumped down on me. He should have waited for his team to respawn, even if it's 30 seconds. Coming through over here, I only have 13 bullets. Just tracking that dude. Obviously, aim assist does its thing. And then we also kind of have a lot going on the mini-map. There's a guy over here at headquarters. It's a down arrow, so I don't have to worry about them sniping me from the sniper tower. There's a guy gliding in right here because it doesn't make sense any other way. And then we have two people either in the bottom of showers on the regain. We have somebody gliding in over here on top of loadout / grandma's house. You got most of the map over here at Nova. And at potentially that looks kind of like living quarters, kind of hard to tell from this angle, and then a couple people over at Kontrol. So what you're trying to do is analyze where can you take easy gunfights where maybe people have to rotate from, and that is the overall goal. And then you can progressively start to work on gunfights where maybe it could be a little bit of a bad push, but it's a calculated risk, right? As we would call it. If somebody is particularly good, you can make a little bit more calculated risk about certain scenarios. So right here, you can see that there's two dots behind me. As soon as I dropped down, they were on my level. So that means they are right in the prison cell block on that level, at least in this moment. And I guess we'll find out what happens. So I come over here, I end up looting this guy. I lucked out. I got some cash. You see my teammates pushing up. I get the reload in. These guys are literally touching. I come through. I ADS walk because it makes a little bit less footstep noise. It looks like one guy's to my left and then one's to the right. I see this one immediately. My teammates end up taking out the other one. I push forward to change the line of sight. Looks like my teammate already got the down and the thirst. So as I come through, that guy also gets thirsted, and then that's pretty much it. They still have one teammate, but since I didn't get the thirst, I don't know where that ping is on the minimap. You can see that there are still a lot of teams left. We still have 10 teams left with that death. There are the bunch at Nova. We just saw a couple of these by the bounty. Another team got wiped. We can see that by the bounty, there was a couple teams, and then all by living quarters. And you can see kind of how I'm taking these. I mentioned this a lot in my previous video where like at certain engagements, I'll shoulder peek like a doorway, so that if somebody wants to shoot me, I have enough time to kind of go back in. I call the UAV, I drop the cash from my teammate, and then we're getting a good assessment of where the safe pushes are. So I can see that there's a guy on my level, looks like a solo, and I'm just basically pushing him. So I come through, I see an angle, I end up shooting him there, I end up pushing this. This is kind of a, what I would say is a calculated risk. I end up changing the line of sight, you'll see right here. I could have probably stemmed, I come through here. I come back out, and then the guy doesn't know how far I've gone because I've broken the line of sight. I know where they're at because literally they can only be behind this. They don't know where I went because when they turned around, I could be behind this pillar. I could be behind a lot of stuff. So I don't think they realize I was there. And if you look at their behavior, I basically outplayed them. So I got lucky. I mean, I guess they didn't peek the right way. But right here, when I come through, he's not looking at me anymore. So he will probably assume that I likely went here. But with the line of sight, as I could strafe with this gun, I could actually strafe out, hold the angle while ADS, because I'm using a high mobility, high strafe speed type 100 build. And that allows me to basically take him out. So he wasn't expecting it. He was expecting me on the other sight line. Probably thought he got double teamed or something like that. It says I unlocked the UGR, which doesn't make sense because I've already unlocked it. But it is what it is, I guess. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky. I'm assuming this guy is near the loadout, because anytime you have a loadout, usually there's a couple loadouts in that area. You can see where they pushed away from. I can see that there's two down here by the loadout. So if we rewind it just a little bit, right about here, I'll get one more pulse. So right here, we can see that this guy is on the buy station, and then the other one is inside the doorway right here on the screen. So just right here, he's on my level at the doorway. So he's either right inside the door or on the other side of the wall here. So I got to choose my angle so that I could kill this guy down here, which is right here, somewhere right here, without getting a line of sight, and I can get to cover. So this is just about choosing your angles wisely where you're able to get a kill. The guy ended up running towards me, so I lucked out. You can see I already kind of pre-aim it. I still have cover. I saw the guy. Looks like he's running up the stairs. I go ahead and change another angle. I get a quick reload. I see the guy pop in the window. I end up beaming him. I break him, and then I push up, and then I jump into the window. There's a mantle here. After they change the mantle mechanics, you can just jump up on the window there if you grab the edge. Take that guy out. I'm paying attention to this pulse. And what you can see is this guy landed back on the loadout. That's really what I'm looking at here. Back on the loadout is where I'm going to be focused my attention. This guy does not have plates. He's grabbing a loadout. Unless he gets tempered, it's going to be an easy kill. So I come through, get the reload. I have a little bit of time. I push up, a mantle, automatically already pre-aiming where I know the guy is. So this ends up being like a stupid easy kill. If you go ahead and watch it back in regular speed, you can kind of see exactly what I'm doing. So I see the guy there. I go ahead and get the reload in because I think it might take more than 18 bullets. I just go in and mount, assuming the guy's going to be there. Destroy him. The guy doesn't have a chance on that occasion. Then I'm going to try and provide cover fire for my team here. I don't know how far these red dots are because they are on the edge of the map. So they could be down the hill or something like that. So I'm just trying to take an angle where maybe I can provide cover for my teammate in case they need to back off. Hey, you know what? I'll go ahead and watch because that's where our bounty is. And that's really what I'm focused on. So The guy ended up popping out. I go and try and get a different angle here. The guy is down low. This is what I would call more of an aggressive play. There's only 3 teams left. Based off the minimap, it doesn't really seem like anyone's in these areas. So the reason why I'm pushing this is to kind of get a little bit closer. But I could have played passive. This guy does have to rotate up. You can see that the zone line is right here. So I could have just held up here and just hold the line of sight any of these angles and just wait for the guy. And my teammate would get the kill, or I can get the kill. But I'm making an educated push here. I jump up. You can see that he popped the little UAV thing. And then there's this guy gliding in the air, which I will have to worry about if he lands hot. But other than that, I have a little bit of time to work on the guy below me, which clearly knows I'm up here, just maybe distracted with what's going on. So he fired his weapon. He might have to reload. And that's why he ended up doing a throwing knife. A lot of times when people fire their weapons and they stop firing, it's because they're running out of ammo. So we do that. We get a little bit of action there. Not much going on. And then we can see that the UAVs are popped. Unfortunately, I'm not near a buy station. I probably could have played it a little bit quicker. You can see that I need a plate and reload. We still have 3 teams left. We know that one's at Kontrol because you can see my teammates pushing that way. They are on the minimap. And then over there by the bounty, the same bounty we had, it got poached. So the other 2 teams are over there because you do simple math. If the team's over there by Nova or by Chem, and they get poached, that means there's 2 teams there. There's 1 team in front of us, and we're the 4th team. So now you know where pretty much all the teams are, especially on Rebirth. Since the tendency is to literally hold hands, you kind of know where everyone is at all times. I could have reloaded way sooner. What am I doing? And that's the lobby. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, hit the like button. See you on the next one. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.